Hi and welcome to the Morningside School of Music YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at quickly working out chords. So what notes are used when we are trying to build a chord? We're going to talk a bit more about that. So the first thing we have to speak about is, if you want to learn chords, the best place to start is by learning your scales first. But don't worry, we don't have to learn every scale. We're going to learn using a little formula that's going to make life quite easy for us. Part 1, scales. To work out chords quickly, you only need to be able to work out major scales. There are lots more scales, but for this formula, we will stick with just the major scales. Firstly, there are only 12 major scales. This is because there are only 12 notes in the musical alphabet, and that's built out of 7 natural keys, which are the white keys on the piano, and 5 sharps and flats, which are the black keys on the piano. In order to work out a major scale, we need a short formula. Here are the rules for the formula. If you see a capital T, this means tone. A tone is 2 increments away from the previous note. In this formula, we will always move up the way. So a step up from F to G is a tone. G is 2 increments up from F, as there is a sharp note between them. So F moving up to F sharp is 1 increment, and from F sharp up to G is 2 increments. This is what we call a tone. However, the step up from B to C is a semitone. This is half of a tone. C is 1 increment up from B, as there is no note between them. Here is the formula at play. We need to draw out a set of lines and put the notes in. This will give us the notes of the major scale. So draw 1 line across and 7 lines down. Important, always make sure you've got a space at the start to write your first note in. Then add the structure of the tones and semitones, shortened to T for tone and S for semitone. We will write these above. We then want to place the first note of the major scale we are trying to work out in the first bottom space. This is where the formula begins. As you can see in the arrow, we are going to move from D up a tone, which will take us to E. The reason it will be E is because we are moving from D up to D sharp, which is 1 semitone, and from D sharp up to E is a full tone. Once we have worked out what we get when we move 1 tone up from D, we write the answer in the next space. You will see the arrow showing you where to draw in the next answer. We then move from E up a tone. As you can see, the arrow is pointing up to T, which means we have to move up a tone, and we put the answer underneath. So E up to F is 1 semitone, and then from F up to F sharp is a full tone. So we write F sharp underneath that T. This time we're moving up a semitone. You can see going from F sharp, the red arrow is pointing up to S. We're then going to put the answer underneath. So 1 semitone, or 1 increment up from F sharp, is G. So we write G underneath that S. We continue along from there. We go from the G up a tone and write the answer underneath. So G up a semitone would take us to G sharp, and up another semitone takes us to A, and 2 semitones make a tone. So G up a tone equals A. A moving up a tone would take us to B, and we write the answer under that T. Moving up another tone from the B takes us up to C sharp, because B moving up a semitone takes us to C, and up another semitone takes us to C sharp, and 2 semitones make a tone. Bear in mind there is no black key between B and C, so that's why we're going from B to C sharp. And if we move up a semitone from the C sharp, that takes us to D. That's 1 increment up. So from the C sharp up to the D, and that has us completed our full D major scale. If you play those notes on the piano or the guitar, you would hear that it sounds happy, it sounds like a major scale. The next thing we must do is number the notes. You can do this at the very start or afterwards, it doesn't make a difference, but this is absolutely essential for getting the correct answers when you go to work out the chords. In my years of being a teacher and seeing people working out chords, I would say that 99% of mistakes are because people haven't put the numbers underneath. It's such a simple thing to do. you want to write number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 being the octave, the same note as the start. In this case, number 1's D, number 8 is D, that's a full octave. Now that we've worked out the scale, we're going to take notes from this scale to build chords. So if we wanted to make a major chord from our major scale, all we need to do is play the first, the third and the fifth degrees of the scale. So 1 is D, 3 is F sharp and 5 is A. Now if we play D, F sharp and A at the same time on a musical instrument, that will give us a D major chord. In order to work out a minor chord from the major scale, it is always the first, the flattened third and the fifth notes of the scale. So when we say flattened third, what that means is we go to number 3 on our scale that we've worked out. In this case it's F sharp, and if we flatten that, that means we move it down one increment. So F sharp moving back the way will take us to F. So the answer for a D minor chord would be D, F and A, because it's 1, flattened third and fifth. Another common chord type that you will see is a 7th chord, in this case a D7, and how we're going to work that out is we're going to take 1, 3, 5 and flat 7 from the major scale we worked out. So the answers to that will be 1 is D, 3 is F sharp, 5 is A, and flattened 7 is going to be C, because 7 is C sharp and we need to flatten it, meaning moving it back one increment. That'll give us a C. So the answer is D, F sharp, A and C. If you play them at the exact same time, you will get a D7 chord. Here are some other types of common chords, such as major 7, which is 1, 3, 5 and 7, minor 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, sus2 chords, which are 1, 2 and 5, and sus4 chords, which are 1, 4 and 5. And what we do in sus chords is we just replace the 3 for a 2 or replace the 3 for a 4. So a sus2 is going to be 1, 2, 5, a sus4, 1, 4, 5. If you were learning a song and you came across a D minor 7 chord, the first thing that you would do is work out the D major scale. It seems a bit back to front considering that it's a D minor 7 chord, a minor chord, and that you're then working out a major scale. But remember, the reason we were working out a major scale is to keep things simple. We don't want to have to keep changing the scale types as well as chord types. It can become quickly quite confusing. So we always use major scales when we're working out these types of chords. The next thing that we would do is, once we've worked out our D major scale, we would look at our list and we would pick minor 7. So minor 7 is 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. 1 would be D, flat 3 would be F, 5 would be A, and our flattened 7th would be C. We can then adopt this method with other scales. If we wanted to work out a G sus2 chord, first we would work out the G major scale as shown below. Once we'd worked out what the G major scale was, we would then look down our list for sus2, and we can see that it's 1, 2 and 5. We then go back over to the scale and we take out 1, 2 and 5, and that will give us G, A and D, and that is a G sus2 chord. See if you can work out the following chords: A minor 7, B flat major 7, F minor and A sus4. I'll put the answers just underneath the YouTube video. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video and you've found it useful. If you get a chance, please subscribe and give us a like, or by all means enter in some comments. If you've got any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. If you need to get in touch with the music school, it's reception@Morningside School of Music.co.uk, and check out our website at morningsideschoolofmusic.co.uk, and we're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.